I need to ask you a question.
Be curious, drifters.
Amelia's duel hits the front. Emma is coming right away for Damien Oliver.
Bella Nipotina, and boy, doesn't she deserve this.
The Giga Kick's got a strong kick.
Golden Mile, soar out the mile. I'm thunderstruck over the top. Mr. Brightside has won the mile.
And Militarize blows them away in the Champagne Stakes. And she's a class act, pulling right away Prowess. And Zoo Gotcha won it by 2.5.
Zaki, joined by Animo, who looks destiny in the face.
It promised to be one of the best race days of the year. Do you reckon it lived up to the hype?
Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah.
It was brilliant, wasn't it?
It was a great day. Like, there was some results at the end of the day which shocked a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, all that aside, there was plenty there for the punters to grab hold of, I think.
Yeah.
So there was definitely opportunity to have a good day.
I reckon the ledger would be pretty even, I reckon.
I think so. I think so, but I think there would have been a lot of punters suffering after Militarize and Amelia's duel went down.
And Steparty.
And Steparty.
Like when you have two $30 pops winning race 9, race 10 in Group 1s in Melbourne. It was a tough day in Melbourne.
Yeah, it really was.
Really, really difficult. And thank God the victims tips came in because I think he found 3 winners, unbelievably. So,
good on you, victim.
Mate, think about it.
Uh-huh.
Where does he rate in our country's best sprinters? Is he number 1?
Yeah.
He has to be, doesn't he?
Has to be.
He's building a black caviar resume.
Oh, workman like he had the perfect run yesterday in the Everest. But, he was there to be shot down.
He was.
It's just like he was first up in the Premier. And we've said it on this podcast before. I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times, mate. Queensland form.
the Stradbroke.
Mate, the Winter Carnival unearths just some gems.
So, all right, in recent years, right? So, Alligator Blood won it last year, is that right?
The Stradbroke, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that was his second Group 1, and now he's got 7.
7?
Mm.
Now, think about it. He's now a 2-time Group 1 winner. May as well be 3 with the Everest.
Yeah.
But he has an Everest in the back pocket. Not only that, he's going to win this Team Blue bonus for the sprinting series there, which is a $5 million purse.
Gee whiz.
And if he wins that, that's another $2.5 million coming in from winning $7 million for first place yesterday in the Everest.
And how much would you have won for the Stratty? Like $1.5 million or something like that?
Yeah, probably.
And the Kingston Smith, probably, 700 or something? 600? Gee whiz. Him and Giga Kick will be neck and neck for prize money.
I know. Remember after the Everest last year, people going like, oh, well, Giga Kick will be the highest prize money earner by the end of next prep. It's like, no, he won't. It's
well, no, he won't.
Yeah.
But also, mate, this time last year, I didn't even know who Think About It was.
Exactly. So he has won $10.9 million in prize money after 12 starts.
It's a pretty good clip, isn't it?
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
With the Giga Kick stakes to come, and to be eligible to win that bonus in that series, you need to run at least 3 times. Now, he won the Premier, he won the Everest, so he has 10 points. He'd be leading that because no one else has won 2. And it's double points in the Giga Kick. So, he basically just has to run top 2 there, basically. He'll win that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who out of the Everest will actually go there. Would I wish I wouldn't go?
Private Eye will.
Yeah, Private Eye will for sure.
Yeah, he won it last year.
Yeah. He'd go there for sure.
Bella Nipotina will go there because the Sydney Stakes was eligible for points yesterday as well.
Oh, cool.
So she's the one I think who's had the most runs in these races.
Third.
But yeah, so she's got 9 points. So she's actually coming second in it, I'd say.
Yeah, so she'll run third in that. Yeah, wow. He was the horse I was most scared of.
Yeah.
In the Everest. And I think mostly after the barrier draw. Like beforehand I was like, yeah, he's definitely a chance. But then after the draw, you just knew he was going to get a good run. You knew he was going to be in the right spot.
It was
yeah, wow.
It was a sensational spot. And looking at the jockey comments post race, the thing that really won this horse was the barrier draw. And Sam Clipperton said after a race that he won up in Sydney, a Group 2, during the prep, he's like, all I could think about is the Everest with this horse. And he almost like manifested it into existence. But see who's the stablemate to his outside. Nash was saying after running a third, 3 wide, no cover again, which I don't think is the worst place for that horse. But he said, I'll do anything to be in the position they think about he's in right now. Because if you put Private Eye in that position, he wins by lengths. Now, I wish I win. Our on top selection, he was fantastic.
He was great, and I feel like Luke Nolan actually gave him a pretty good ride.
He did. You know what I wanted to highlight here actually is through the line. So, mate, think about it. He's holding him off still, and he was exposed a long way from home. He was. Gee whiz, in secret, if she draws in, mate, I was like, all right. She goes better down the Flemington Straight. The Champions Sprint would be her race. She's like $6, like third favourite there. I'm like, there's no real juice there and Imperatriz is the $2.50 favourite there. So, but I wish I win. I reckon, so he only gets out at about the 150, 200, gets shuffled back a little bit, and then he just does what I wish I win does. Just absolutely rockets home.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Look, you can, if you swap his run or barrier or whatever with Think About It, does he win? Like, yeah, you could make that argument. You could also argue that Think About It, if he drew out and came from the back of the field, might have just been better than him. You just don't know. But Think About It, dream run. And, mate, look, full respect to Joe Pride. He's a gun trainer. And it's a nice story as well because he was, like a 70K purchase?
Yeah. Yeah. And we saw him in Brisbane, just a ton of owners in this horse.
Yeah.
They absolutely love him. I think they call him Spud. So Spud is the number one sprinter in Australia because he just refuses to lose.
He just can't lose. He hates losing. And he's very unassuming looking as well.
He is, and I just love how he parades. I haven't seen footage from yesterday.
No, I haven't either.
But yeah, we saw it firsthand in Brisbane. He gets up on his toes. He's bucking around. I love it.
So you think types, hey? Like he hasn't produced from the top of my head any
sprinters,
absolute gun sprinters. No.
Sosi Bon. He was a sprinter miler.
Sosi Bon. And this guy, he could stretch out to 14 easily.
How's the breeding in both of those? So you think size the winner, Savabeel size the runner up.
Yeah, and they're traditionally producing miler 2,000 metre horses. Very interesting.
Do you know anything about Private Eyes, Almar?
Almar is he's out of a big sire, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, okay.
But again, not a popular sire by any stretch of the imagination. Almar.
So of the beaten brigade, so if we go in like order, so In Secret obviously unlucky because she doesn't typically get that far back, and it's probably argued that she does go better on her Melbourne leg as well.
Yep.
Espiona, she ran straight. Oh no, she didn't. She actually caused a lot of mayhem. About 300 from home, as well there. But I think what we learned was, Hawaii 5-0 weight for age. I think might be at this tippy top level. I think he might be a prep or two away.
Yeah, he's so lightly raced.
Yeah. And he he ran third in Stradbroke with 49 on his back. So, you know, Think About It had 54-ish. So, Espiona just against her own age wasn't the right form lines, but she still ran really well. Buenos Noches, I think he just was never in a winning position. Shinzo, what do you think of him?
Oh, look, he just just wasn't up to him.
Yeah. Just hasn't come up.
Yeah. And you know, you never like seeing first up into a Golden Rose, widen the entire trip, pulls up lame. You know, coming into this,
Could he be $10 in a Coolmore and the Forgotten Horse?
Yes, mate. Yeah, mate. If he goes to a Coolmore, he'll have something in mind.
Because Cylinder there, that was his 4th run of the Prep. Ran quite well, but he had the gun run. I think I'd prefer to take Shinzo over Cylinder in a Coolmore moving forward.
Do you know who's good at training a Coolmore winner, mate?
Christopher Waller.
The wash up out of that as well is wow. We've got a lot of that pack sticking around. I think about it's 5. He's a gelding.
Yes.
In Secret, she's a 4-year-old mare, and I'm of the firm opinion that 4-year-old mares are actually pretty hard done by at weight for age. Yep. I think it takes them a prep to catch up. Private Eyes 6, he'll go round again. Marzu, what happens to him after this? Yeah, we'll be seeing these types go around. Giga Kick will be there next year, would hope.
And you have some up and comers like I Am Me. Yesterday in the Sydney Stakes was smashed by the market, which I couldn't understand because she was so disappointed in a way easier race last race. But the likes of Airman, he
was really good.
He's an up and coming sprinter as well. So that was his first time at weight for age, 3 wide, no cover, and he's still stuck on. He gave out late, but he had every right to. So I think the sprinting ranks in Australia, as they should be. Because I'd surely get a deal done to get Imperatriz there next year.
Do you know who could be just like the wildest 4-year-old colt in that race next year? King's Gambit. Imagine him in that race.
So you said to me immediately after the race, you reckon that would be the lowest rating Everest of all time?
I think so. Just off the eye test.
Yeah. So I had a look through the numbers, right? So obviously the caveat to this is, so there's been 7 Everest run and won. 2 of them have been run on good 3s. So that was the first one with Red Zell and the one yesterday.
Yes, one. Well, yeah. Oh,
Yesterday
right. Okay,
was
yesterday.
on a good 3.
Wow.
And then you have 2 on a soft 7. So that was Giga Kicks, Nature Strips. And then you have a heavy 9 with Red Zell. He just loved it. And then, you had 2 on good 4s with Classic Legend and Yes.
Yeah.
So the fastest in history, Everest wins, is Yes.
Yeah.
So he absolutely smashed the clock. It was set up by Nature Strip. Santana Lane was there. Like, it was a high quality field, right?
Oh God, yeah.
So that's the fastest in history. The one yesterday was second fastest.
Really?
So think about it. Would have lost to Yes just on raw times by about 2 lengths.
Yeah. Okay.
But they went home the fastest ever last 600 in 33:13. Like, they absolutely rocketed home. So, but yeah, he was set up for the perfect run. Switch the barriers, you might switch the result. I'm not too sure, because does I Wish I Win get even more cluttered up? I don't know. It's all.
Yes.
It's all.
It is what it is. Like, we. If you listen back to our preview drifters, like, we're pretty damn close to nailing the race.
Yeah, pretty close.
Pretty close.
Let's go to the King Charles then.
King Charlie.
Now, interesting post-race here. So 4 weeks in between runs for Mr. Brightside.
Yep.
Now, I want to highlight at the top of the straight here. Let's have a look at him, because Craig is starting to get into his work, right? About 600 from home. He said at the top of the straight, I was struggling. He said, this horse is going no good.
Wow.
So the way that he picks up, I think, is really admirable. J-Mac, this is the ride of the day.
Yes.
This is a sensational ride, because she was slow out of the gates, picks her up, gets her in the perfect position. You knew this horse was winning about 1,000 metres out.
Yeah. He's 4 from 4 on Fangirl.
Yeah.
and that's the key to her. Dry track, ridden positively, and she'll stick on really well. Does she go to a Champions Mile or a Cox Plate, or do you take her to a Cox Plate? Or do you think she's just too brilliant over a mile?
I don't know. Because she's won out to 1,800, I think, against like 3-year-olds.
She won the Vinery Stud, and that was the year it was at Newcastle.
Yeah, and that was at 1,800, I believe.
Yep.
she could probably run out 2,000, I'd say. Yeah, do you take her to a Cox Plate? I know she firmed in those markets yesterday.
Geez, wasn't that market absolutely blowing up yesterday?
Oh, mate.
And that's why futures are so dangerous.
They are.
Like what were you saying was on offer for Militarize?
Well, $8, but then he's drifted to $12. I actually don't understand that. Because there was actually a listener question about that. We might get to that later.
We'll get to it later.
So
but well found, mate, by you, Fangirl. What price did she open up at? 8s, 9s?
She opened at 9s. She jumped at 6s.
She was definitely going to get smashed.
Yeah, so in my Group 1 strategy, I'm annoyed I went each way. But, speaking of, there's a new clubhouse leader.
Look out.
And I'll tell you this for free, it's not the Drifters.
Nor should it be.
So Mr. Bright, so Willow after the race said that this horse needs further. Cox Plate, Moonee Valley, where he rails like a greyhound. Could he win a Cox Plate, Mr. Brightside?
100% he could, mate.
Because he was really good late here.
He was. And also, like, you nailed it yesterday. 4 weeks between runs, trial. It's almost like he's had okay, cool, we've won our Group 1 down here over 1,600 metres. Let's freshen him up. Take him down to Sydney with the Cox Plate now, the actual grand final.
Oh, I don't know about that. $5 million race.
True.
Yeah, it's like, I think they weren't leaving any stones unturned yesterday, I don't think.
Did he maybe not particularly enjoy the good 3?
I did hear Ben Hayes during the week, I think that's his name, saying that any rain around would help this horse. So, and that could be two things, right? Because he is so versatile. The first one being is that he knows that Fangirl lets down on a rock hard track too.
Yeah.
And this horse has just been absolutely elite because I think Fangirl has never been going better. You look at her Doncaster, she ran 10th there, but she was only beaten 2 lengths.
Yep.
On a heavy 8 where she just doesn't let down. Like, I think she's been going fantastic. And this is a race where it was set up with Redina, My Oberon run, and Golden Mile running a pretty
what were the
decent tempo.
times?
It was hard to say. I don't have the raw sectional data from Racing New South Wales, but Kovalika.
Geez, he's a Cox Plate horse.
This horse needs further.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you. Chris Waller engages 2 runners in a Cox Plate, right? João Moreira has to choose between Militarize and Kovalika. He's choosing Militarize, but...
Can he get down to that weight?
Yeah, he can ride light. He can ride real light. Who do you take out of the 2? With the weight relief, probably Kovalika, Militarize.
3-year-olds have such a good record in the race, mate. Yeah. Begrudgingly, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a big fan of both of them. I'm a big fan of Mr. Brightside. Like, I've come round to him since he won me the All-Star Mile. I don't know. Romantic Warrior can still brain him, mate. Like,
he had some track work there this morning, which he was looking good.
That mark is blowing up and just a scrambled eggs in my mind.
Yeah.
What are your early thoughts
On the Cox Plate?
Yeah.
Militarize.
You reckon?
Yeah. Like, for him to go from $8 to $12 was utter madness with Neds. Because I jumped on him before the Guineas because I was like, you know what? If this horse wins like the horse that we all think he is, I think he'll be like a $4 favourite in the market, especially what eventuated later in the day with AJ. But you look at the wash up from that race. There's only one horse going from the Caulfield Guineas to a Cox Plate, I think, and that's Militarize. Because Steparty had every chance. You'd potentially take Griff there, but he's been up forever, and he'll start a $20 shot again, and old mate might have another 20K each way.
20 grand each way. Hope that wasn't with the good people in Neds. It took him for an absolute ride. 800 grand collect.
I know, mate. Unbelievable. So, yeah, let's get to those races then. Let's go to the Caulfield. We'll go to the Modern Power first, because this has changed Cox Plate markets as well. Alligator Blood can run out a strong 2,000 because what Deny Knowledge did here, to the 800 metres, they were going 22 lengths quicker than standard. Now, the way I kind of view that is there was a 10-length gap to Alligator Blood, right? So I almost view it as like a 12-length, like more genuine tempo because that horse like drops right out. But this horse just needs to be in the hurt locker.
He needs a brutal race, yeah.
Like, look at him. But this form behind him here is just the B and C graders.
Yeah.
Because the tempo of the race really brought in Vow Declare.
Yeah.
But Danny O'Brien said during the week that this horse's grand final is a zipping classic. You know?
Yeah.
So his run there they might go like, this horse is going good enough. We might even nom for a Melbourne Cup again.
Yeah.
Like, but Jewess, I think she's just never again for you.
Nah, I can't. That was the perfect race for her.
Yep.
Tempo was there. 2,000 metres, dry track. Blake Shin on. She was tardy out the gates, was sitting last. She needed to be a pair behind Alligator Blood to have a chance. But nothing was beating the blood there. He was unbelievable.
He was fantastic. And his 2 runs at 2,000 metres, like in the Maiden Power last year, he was facing Animo there, but like Suzaki, and so I'm thunderstruck. And then he was beaten, just over a length on a heavy 8 in a Cox Plate. It's like he doesn't run out 2,000. I think there was none of that class of horse there.
No.
So
No. Fantastic win.
yeah, with just fine for yours truly. He ran a really, really poor last. End of prep. Afterthought, which I'm usually totally against. The amount of times I've underrated this horse, Alligator Blood, like, unbelievable.
He's got 7 Group 1s.
Insane.
Nothing more needs to be said.
Insane. All right. So the Caulfield Guineas. Now,
Full disclosure, Drifters, I haven't watched the replay of this.
so this is just on the sectionals data on racing.com. So to the 800 metres, they were 10 lengths slower than standard. And then they went home 2 lengths slower than standard. So this race stinks for like Group 1 standard at the mile for the 3-year-olds. Ben Mellum in the wash-up said, like, on paper there was no speed in this race, so I was going to chance my arm because he drew the widest.
Yeah.
He's like, because he said jockeys can overthink it in this situation. And he's like, I'm just going to chance my arm, see if I get a position. And he's like, I just had the dream run. And then he's like, the horse nearly lost it for me in the last 100 though.
Yeah, he spooked.
Yeah, he's like, he saw something that he didn't like. And the ripple effect that had late, the amount of horses that had to get pulled up. Thing is he wins by a length and a half, and then it's like you can't take the race off him. So it was never going to
No. Yeah, you can't. But yeah, you're right about Steparty. V8 bounced back as well, which we thought he would. But Steparty from there had the chance to run old mate down.
He did. He absolutely did. And I think the winning move is right around now when there's about 600 from home. Oh, there are 1,000 from home, but about 800 to 600 from home. Benny Mellon just gets him in, increases the tempo, and it was just in a position where Militarize just had absolutely no chance of winning.
No chance.
So
No chance. Way too far back. Pace wasn't there.
right now, you couldn't have enough on Steparty.
Yeah.
So I've watched this replay several times. Griff just hugs the rail, which, to be fair, the rail was kind of off at Caulfield as well. So I think V8 had almost like the gun run. So what's that? About 100 from home, shifts out, and you have to watch it again, right? Look at these ones behind here, especially Verdad. So look at that.
Yeah.
He nearly clips heels of King Colorado there. Now, Verdad is the horse that I'm now extremely interested in Victoria Derby. Now, in its first prep, it'll probably be its 4th or 5th run there. It'll be really tough on the horse, but it's got some serious talent, that horse.
Yeah. Militarize out of that. He just had no chance.
Through the line, last 200, I think his last 200 was like the 15th or 16th quickest of the day or something, which that's plenty good enough for me. So look at him there. He's passed him.
Yeah.
So I think the market reaction to him for a Cox Plate is just madness. He's almost like the one out of everything that happened yesterday. He's the one I want to be on more because, with all due respect to Alligator Blood, right? Better opposition in a Cox Plate. I can't see him winning it. I can't. Like, obviously, if Mr. Brightside's colours were lowered a little bit, so what's happening there? Amelia's Jewel obviously won't be going there now, surely. So it's kind of like it's wide open now, in my opinion.
It is.
So Nicholas Scala asks, are we agreeing with Joe Moreira that Militarize was a great trial for a Cox Plate? Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
Yes. 2,000 metres, he's a 3-year-old who's got that written all over him. Yeah, 100%.
So Dean Pirro and Josh Bunny was also saying about Alligator Blood. He's an absolute champion. Would you give him a chance in a Cox Plate?
You have to. Have to off that. Ran 4th in it last year, like you said, or 5th. Yeah, 100%. Will he have any in mind? Probably not.
Yeah.
Like you got to take a few on, and I've been disrespecting this horse his entire career pretty much, and you know he's a fantastic horse, but I'll be looking for others in the Cox Plate.
I agree. All right, the Toorak. Now this is just no good. No good. This race just sucks.
It just sucks, mate.
It just stinks, man. How's Simon Miller straight after the race? Just going like they interviewed him because like obviously he's got the most hyped horse in Australia right now, and first thing he says is like, full credit to Mitch Friedman. Congratulations, mate, on winning the first Group 1. And he said, I don't know, because apparently she was playing up in the mounting yard again. And he said it could have been the crowd, it could have been the music, and it could have been the helicopters above. So maybe she's just a bit of a flighty filly, you know?
Yeah.
She had every possible chance here because she was on the back of Attrition. Yeah, it's just disappointing.
Yeah, it is disappointing.
You had a bad feeling, didn't you?
I had a really bad feeling. Really bad feeling. Is she better than these? Yeah, I think she is. But like in a handicap race, mare, she's almost the top weight, mate. Like I think it would have been a safer option to take her up to Sydney in the King Charles. You know what I mean? And not necessarily win that race, but you've got to face this opposition at some point. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just disappointing. Really faded.
So there's nothing in the Vets report so far. Could you imagine the markets if she comes out? Because she's drifted about third favourite in the Golden Eagle now. The Gardo is still your $6 favourite. And I think the Japanese horse is firm too. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think if she heads to a Golden Eagle, I feel like she's definitely still in the game there if everything's right.
Yeah. Of course she is. You surely don't pull the pin on her prep.
You hope not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends how she pulls up. So,
you know, she came out of a pretty brutally run race as well. You know, last start.
I think Princess Jenny was flat too.
Yeah. So maybe you just look at that as a complete forgive and you forget about it. Goes to the Golden Eagle and blows them away there.
Look, you can forgive a horse for one poor run.
First time she's finished outside the Quinella, mate.
V8 as an example, right?
Yeah. Antino? Unlucky.
Attrition. Our thoughts on when a horse like that pops up, we're happy to live with the result because we're never going to tip him.
100%. It's like, even though the Blood was a $2 whatever favourite and he wins that race, you're just like, fair enough, because I wouldn't have put him on top.
Yes.
If you gave me that exact same race, that exact same form next week, I would have done the exact same thing, mate. I'd never put Attrition on top.
No.
Never.
Never, ever.
The horse at a big price I thought was a huge shout in that race was Pinstriped. And he ran, what, like 5th or 6th?
Yeah.
So, sometimes you just get them wrong, drifters.
You do. You can't get them all right.
And you know what? Construct the Story Bridge and get over it.
We'll go through the rest of the Caulfield card. So Carini. Now, against this opposition, you'd expect him to win this.
I think so. Do you know what I've learned? I can't trust those silks at all. Ever since Incentivise, mate, bad juju associated with them for me. But yeah, you were right. He stepped up, 700 metres?
Yeah.
From last start. So here's what it is.
Yeah, so United for yours truly, and he ran on fine for second, but he's a lower grade horse. Like, he's not even a Group 2 horse. But that Military Mission, that buoyed, I think, and buoyed my confidence. I think it buoyed the market's confidence because he was coming out of that Metropolitan. And just fine, I think, started favourite against Alligator Blood. So, and, big syndicate, so they're probably all betting on him as well.
Launching.
But I think they learnt their lesson there. Me too. I'm sick of these afterthoughts, mate. They're no good.
Oh, mate, you'll be sucked in again at some point.
I know.
It is what it is.
The Northwood Plume, she dances, mate. So, red card. We've taken our money this prep and we've bolted because she was icky before the race and she was icky during it.
Yeah, no, this one felt good.
Yeah.
It's good to get on the board, especially after that close second with excess in the race before, maybe.
Prior race 2.
She was at good price too. So
El Meach.
Yeah, look, El Meach on her front runner.
Peach.
She gets it.
Yep, she sure does.
So where does She Dances go to?
Oh, maybe the
Empire Rose?
Nah, that was 1200. So
was it?
Potentially an Empire Rose, but maybe something like that 1100 meter sprint on Derby Day.
That is for a race.
That Tefano race.
Shit.
That On the Drift podcast, absolute fill up race.
Just have an absolute mortgage on that race.
Speaking of,
mate, she's just a very good 1100 meter horse, mate.
I think what was underrated in this first instance of the race was what Mitch Aiken did to hold his lane about 4 or 5 off the fence and hang out Uncommon James to dry. I think that is a really underrated move because the fence was off, so she was probably in the better ground, and then she could probably just swing that turn and rail it like a greyhound. And Uncommon James just did a little bit too much work early.
Yeah, mate, she's a Group 1 mare at that standard. And she'll get one at some point in her career, but she's not gonna pick up 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Like, she'll be running in a lot of these races and she'll be in the market thereabouts. But when you get to something like this, I think she's just showing that these are the sort of races where you can bet with confidence.
Yeah.
She got jammed in too.
She did, and it was a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
Which, they pretty much ran like it. The only one I was worried about was Chain of Lightning. But she's mare's grade, Chain of Lightning. She proves that every single time. She runs into a nice 3rd or 4th against the boys, but she never features. But through the line there, she was really strong. So I'll be interested to see where they take her this prep as well. But as for you're absolutely right, 3-length win, dominant, fantastic ride by Mitch Aiken there.
Yep.
Far out. I don't even want to watch this.
Would never have. Again, would never have.
No.
Like, Ayrton, I didn't understand why he went up favourite. And I think he started at what, like
5:30.
Yeah.
Looking at the screen.
Oh, someone knew. I was on Buffalo River.
No, that shocked me.
Never again.
Well,
he just ran so well last start.
Yeah, but it's Buffalo River, mate.
Yeah, I know. But I couldn't have put Ayrton on top either.
Ayrton is holding out stage man. What's prior to the race? It's probably in the 2000s the last time those two horses
This
won.
horse Ayrton, he'll now be in the market for a bloody Cox Plate. He'll be like 15s. When will people ever learn?
Oh, man.
Nah, never would have found that.
I did land up jumping on Well Wall with Wet Gutted Dog Jai McNeil on the saddle. But he actually was found to be lame in the off-4, so I can forgive him there, but need to see him win again. Now, the last race at Caulfield that we'll preview or in the wash-up is actually, it was the victim's best bet of the day, Wish Law Lass.
Yeah, look, there was no pace in this race. And as soon as Nunthorpe came out of it, which I would have bet, pretty confidently, Wish Law Lass was the only one I was scared of. So logic suggests whack responsibly.
Now,
held on.
How nervous were you getting? With
Very nervous. I was petrified. Petrified, mate. But she found.
Right now, 150.
Oh, it was done.
Barbie's Fox got her snout in front of it, but it might have been the thing that won Wish Law Lass the race because, worst part of the track, she saw this thing in her vision and then she was like, you know what, I'm going to take over here.
No, yeah, good result.
Yeah.
Good result.
I'll end up being on Papillon Club. She ran into 4th, it's fine. But I wasn't a big fan of the race, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Now, we are going to indulge in some benchmark 78 best bets due to drifters in Sydney. Have to.
The sauce has just been spraying everywhere, hasn't he? Like, the condiments are just lathered up.
Overflowing. Mate, look at this Cascadian 2.0 for Sequester.
Oh, this was a fantastic win.
This mare she's a pocket rocket. Look at her.
Pretty. And look, good ride too.
Yeah.
Was Zach Lloyd on?
Yes.
He's good, mate.
Isn't he?
Up and comer. Yeah, the best bets of the day from the source and the victim getting up. Like, as it stands right now, drifters, you should just whack that 2-leg multi every week responsibly because, between the two of us, I can't see us missing very often.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah. Then you look at the Mafia's best bet got up as well.
Yeah, we've got some fucking connections. We're getting the good oil.
When you have the Mafia on your side,
we're getting the good oil.
Now, you know who had a day out yesterday? Kieran McAvoy.
He was so overdue, mate.
Look at him. So he gets Arctic Glamour here, $2, like $1.80 favourite. So you'd hope he'd get him home, but this is a smart horse.
She's heading to 1,000 guineas, I would assume.
There's a new mile race for the 3-year-olds in Sydney called the Calendar something, and it's worth a monster over a mile. So it's basically like
PVL.
She's now favourite for that.
Yeah.
So could be heading there, you'd imagine. But yeah, PVL just seeing it like an absolute golf ball. Commiserations for the connections of Zelta with Cooper Cordless and co. Just probably a prep or two away, I'd say. But yeah, now the gloaming. This is a race I wanted to highlight. Now, how's this statement from Nash? Do I have my phone here? Yeah, I do. I took a screenshot of this specifically to talk about it. Now, he said, Nash was on Tom Kitten.
Favourite.
I said at the start of the prep, he could be the best horse I've ridden, and he hasn't let me down today. Just unlucky.
What?
Best horse he's ridden. Now, my jaw was on the floor here.
I am shocked hearing that. Nash has ridden some good ones. Piero comes to mind immediately.
I don't know. Big Private Eyes run placings in 2 Everest. Eduardo.
Think it over?
Yeah.
That's just the last few years, mate. Piero was 10 years ago?
Yeah. Now,
shit.
Now, drifters, there is a really big point I want to make here. The barriers won this race. So you look 100%. At the barriers that they drew here. Raf Attack from barrier 2 was the natural leader. Pretty annoyed I actually didn't go into him because I did like the Gambar form, and this horse was drawn to do no work because the 1800 meter start there at Randwick, you're on a bend immediately.
Yeah.
So, and the full replay actually shows this really well.
inside barriers important.
Yes, very important. So if you have an inside on-pace barrier horse that, has something about it, you can pretty much back it with confidence. So look at this here. They are turning immediately. So all things considered, because I land up going with Snowman on top on the day, Huey got him in a sensational position. So he had every possible chance, I'd imagine. But Riff, what was this horse's name?
Raff
Attack. Yeah, just got in the A1 position.
He did. Snowman found some interference towards the back end of the race. Would he have chased him down? Probably not. I don't know. Hard to say.
Huey got suspended.
Did he?
Yes. He's missing a big day. I think he's missing Derby Day, I believe.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Unlucky Huey. So something that I was keeping an eye on as well at the back of the race was Tannhauser and Tom Kitten. So J-Mac was on Tannhauser, was trying his best to just keep Tom Kitten in, but Nash kept putting Tom Kitten out to keep Tannhauser hung out for dry.
Yeah.
But out of the race, you take Tom Kitten out of it.
Yeah.
He rocketed home.
So
look at him out the back here. Look at Tannhauser sort of.
Tom Kitten almost crabs on the corner there as well. Tom Kitten does a sensational job to get this close, I think. And, if he sits midfield next start, game over, I think. I think he's rightful favourite for the spring champion.
Does Tom Kitten have his nuts?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Knowing Godolphin, he would. I think they geld him, at 4, don't they?
Oh,
When was Pericles gelded?
Yeah, before his 4-year-old. No, Pericles was gelded before the autumn. He was a colt as a spring 3-year-old, and then gelded for his 3-year-old. Spring last year, he was a 3-year-old. He was a colt, and then came the autumn, he was gelded because I distinctly remember James Cummings saying you can't geld him twice.
Yes,
because he was still a bit of a nutcase last prep, but he's clearly switched on now.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Tom Kitten does have his nuts out of Harry Angel.
Ooh, he's an Irish stallion. Interesting.
Okay. You're breeding. Now, question out of this. Can someone please let Tom Kitten into some fresh air? It's his pattern. That's the thing. So that's from Scott Robbo. How are you, bruh? He followed the source into Radina a couple of weeks ago, which was good to see. But yeah, I think next start, surely you give him a nudge in the back to try and take a bit of a better position.
Yes, mate.
Because what this horse has is a starting price profile.
Yeah, look, but he's the one you take into a spring champion.
Now, there is a hidden run here. See the purple silks back in here? Now, this horse is still a maiden, Cap Ferret, if that's how you pronounce it. But he was just as good, I think. Gets to the inside of Tom Kitten here. Tom Kitten runs past him, but this horse is a sneaky good run, I reckon. And he'll be about 10 times the price in a spring champion. He was strong through the line there as well. He's a sneaky one. So yeah, lots to learn out of that race there. Now, this is almost the win of the day. Front page in the Kosciuszko.
Oh, brained him.
You know what makes it even more impressive? This horse pulled up 3 out of 5 lane.
Geez, he's got something under the hood then. And he's got a big ticker. Yeah, he broke their hearts, mate, out front. Nothing was going to chase him down. I was obviously on my girl, Opal Ridge. And take front page out of the race, she wins. But he was just too good.
And in the wash up after the race, I'm like, you know what? This horse was a stupid price. Won the race last year. He's been running in the second grade sprinting Group 1's last prep.
Yeah.
Overthink it sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
Derry Grove, my on top selection, he just missed the jump and he was never in it. Nash said as much. So
Thanks, Nash.
yeah. Now, yeah, I Am Me, the next. J-Mac gave her an absolute peach as well. Draw really awkward. She's an on pace mare, but nothing really kicked up under her, so he was able to, bide his time and get a position. Again, there's no way I was picking this horse on top. Zero.
No. I wasn't overly confident in this race. I put Bellini Patina on top purely because of her lead-in runs, but she's won, 3 times?
I think
4 start?
Yeah.
Four times?
I think it's like a handful of times.
So she doesn't win out of turn. Like, she is a really good mare, but she just doesn't win out of turn. I think I found her for one of her victories. It wasn't in a big race either. I think it was when she first came to the Mar Eustace camp. She hasn't always been with them.
Well, thing is like, I think she is really good. The Valley's her track.
Yeah.
Like,
Scoot round.
Get a bit of rain there. She win the Manikato by 6 lengths last year.
Yeah, in a incredibly highly rated race. Yeah, she comes home for third here. I Am Me was just brilliant up front.
Yep.
But yeah, again, would never have found her. So you take those.
You do. And I was considering Airman just because he's that up and coming sprinter. As we said before, he is run out of his skin here. 3 wide, no cover. First time at Way for Age. Just gave out that last 50. But he had a far, far harder run than the winner. King of Sparta was the source's tip. The King just got way too far back. And I think we mentioned it on the preview podcast. Is like, if you think you know where this horse is going to be in the run, you're
kidding yourself.
You're guessing.
You're kidding yourself.
You're guessing.
Come on, Drifters.
Now, the Silver Eagle. This is a race that we need to look at. Some astute punting was happening here. Vienna Princess was the second winner for Kieran on the day. And if you're going to have a $40 pop beaten, Kieran's going to be the one to break your heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, look. Astute punting. I was on Benedetta here, Drifters, not with heaps of confidence. Also a massive fan of Pericles, as you know. Out of this race, like I'm very confident Pericles runs a big race in the Golden Eagle.
He was set for a mile, back to 1,300 here. There was enough question marks there for me. And that's why I think I agree. It's like, moving forward, he's the one I'm taking. I'm not taking Straight Acer.
No, because this was Straight Ace's grand final.
Yes.
To get into the race.
Yes.
And he did it.
Yes.
He got into the race, mate.
And look at Tommy Berry here. This is a sensational ride. And this horse he's better than midway grade.
He is.
Put it that way. He absolutely jumps out of the ground here late and sees Benedetta, runs straight past her, sees Pericles, runs straight past him, bang, loses by a length. But, Vienna Princess just had the better run. So hopefully, I know some people followed the source in.
Yep. I hope a lot of people did. Because it was like a $8 to place, $10 to place.
Yeah, he drifted late too. He got his starting price was about $46.
Shit, man. You got to make it last.
You got to have 1x3s on those.
You got to make it last when you're riding that wave and you're coming into the shore and there's nothing in your way and you're just up there and you're just thinking, gee whiz, this is living, Barry. Keep riding it.
Benedetta apparently didn't let down as well on that hard ground.
I don't think it didn't look like she enjoyed it because from where she was sitting, I was like, I am winning this race. But she didn't.
She didn't, man. I think Legato is going to be awfully hard to beat in the Golden Eagle.
Yeah.
And Osipenko is still about $15 in those markets. Could even be 20s. It's a big price. Now, the last race we're looking at here is the Angst Stakes. And I had zero angst during Osbred Flirt, run of the race with Craig Williams in the saddle. But Bjorn Baker, this is good training performance. Sticks at the mile with Renaissance Woman, who's, she was running in Oaks. But
she would have been favourite for the Queensland Oaks at some point.
Yep. After Fireburn got scratched, but bang, look at that. She's smart mare, mate.
Good mare.
Yeah, good mare.
Good mare. I put Frumos in the quaddie drifters. Full disclosure, I'm sorry.
I didn't even see that horse.
She's hanging out on the outside there.
The other one was Osmos, wasn't it?
Yeah. I said on the podcast, I said I have no idea in this race, and it proved to be true. Nice way to end the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you what, it was a good day in Sydney. Put it that way. And I found the winner in the first at Caulfield, but apart from that, it was slim pickings for me.
Oh, I thought I was better in Melbourne, where I had a pretty good day without Militarize or Amelia's Duel having run yet. I was like, well, land these two, and I've tipped half the card. Sorry, the victim. The victim. He's a good mate of mine, so I follow his tips. But look, yeah, if you can jag 3 winners and the last 2 races are won by $30 pops, you just cop that. But the Sauce
has been some serious form,
yeah. And we're getting into it. We're balls deep in spring, mate. This isn't the start,
and
it's not the end either.
It isn't, and I think the other thing is that you need to do sometimes is actually just you need to listen to this podcast in addition to the Sauce's tips, because there's a few like little Quinellas hanging around there too. Like a $13 Quinella in the last with the Osbred Flirt and Renaissance Woman. Like, what more can you ask for? You know what I mean?
It's not much else. Like, you're being greedy if you're asking for more drifters. You're being greedy now.
All right. Early look at Caulfield Cup, right? So you have Salcombe, West Wind Blows without a fight, $6 favourites. Gold Trip, $7. Breakup, 8s. Francesco Gardi, 13s. Montefiore, 15s. And I'd say that's where the chances pretty much end, with some other internationals coming as well, like Valiant King. Early thoughts. Weather during the week. There is a little bit of rain early, but it's like
should be
Tuesday.
A good
It'll be a pretty hard track, which I'm buoyed by.
Yeah. Oh, I need to see the barrier draw for a race like this. If West Wind Blows draws in, he's going to be really hard to run down.
Yep.
Without a fight, and Salcombe are definitely in my thoughts. And Montefiore, if she's at 15s, if Hot Nash is on,
yeah,
like
he's taking the ride for sure.
Well, she'll have 54.5 kilos,
maybe.
Based on that last start win in the Hill Stakes, mate, we know she can run out a good 2,400 meters. Tancred Wait for Age. She runs second to Arapaho. She's joined the Chris Waller stable. She's 4th up. Like, this is Chris Waller special written all over it. So she'll probably have some in mind too, off the top of my head.
Okay. And let's have a quick look at the Cox Plate market as well. So Romantic Warrior is now your $4.80 favourite again. Gold Troop $6.50, Alligator Blood 7s, Mr. Brightside 9s, Victoria Road 9s, Fangirl 10s, Kovalika and Militarized 12s, Amelia's Jewel 15s, unlikely. Light Infantry Man 17s. You can have
Infantry Man.
You can have him.
Yeah, you can have him. Markets. Romantic Warrior, probably my number 1 seed. Militarize, close second as it stands right now. But on the day closer to, like, I'll probably get sucked into the 3-year-old in the Cox Plate. Mostly because as well, like, I want an Australian 3-year-old colt to beat an overseas gelding.
Yep.
Because, like, I'd feel better about myself. You know what I mean?
That's a fair statement. And let's have a look at the Golden Eagle as well. So, Legato, Obam Burimai, $7. Haven't done the form with that horse. Amelia's Jewel 7s, Hawaii 50. Oh, sorry. Amelia's Jewel 8s, Hawaii 508s, Kovalika 12s, Age of Kings 13s, Attrition 15s. Toorak winners have a very good record.
Phenomenal record in that race.
Heracles $15. Redina $15. Now, of those two, I know who I'm taking. Pericles. Yellow Brick $17. He won't be going there. I think the prep's over for him. And then Golden Mile, Magic Time, Osipenko 21s.
I don't think Kovalika will go there. I think he'll go to a Cox Plate. For me, I'm probably playing, because they're at a price where you can play with a few, right? Pericles and Amelia's Jewel.
Yep. Now, we'll end this on the Stewards Reports. Forgot I did these. Your guy, Ironclad, pulled up lame.
Did he? Oh, he had excuses.
Yeah, he rightfully ran last at 70s. Benny Mellum suspended for careless riding in the final 50 metres of the Caulfield Guineas. 10 race meetings suspension from the 22nd of October, expiring Monday the 30th, so he'll miss Cox Plate Day. Sarah Des had a cardiac arrhythmia. Wall was lame. Forgot You had a exercise-induced pulmonary hemorrhage, so internal bleed, I believe. And then in Sydney, Tannhauser didn't appreciate the hard ground. Front page, 3 out of 5 lame, as we mentioned. King of Sparta lost its off-hind plate. Alcohol-free, suffered from heat stress. Yellow Brick was coughing after the race, and there was a bit of kickback, so probably contributed to that on the day. Now, Zaki was late scratching from the King Charles as well. So he scratched at 11 a.m. instead of the 7:30. Reason was being was he had abnormal, he had high inflammatory markers in his blood test, which only came back later that morning. So no penalties for the stable. It's just like it was when the test came in. So a bit similar to Cox Plate Day, almost elevated temperature. Redina had a slow recovery. Now, Hugh Bowman was suspended from the 30th of October to the 11th of November for careless riding on Snowman. Chad Schofield was suspended from the 22nd to the 5th for careless riding on King of Sparta. So two of mine that the jockeys gave it every possible.
Gee whiz.
And this is the big one. J-Mac was suspended as well. So from the 15th of October to the 21st for careless riding on Hawaii Fave 5-0. Does that mean now the suspension starts from today to the 21st? If that includes the 21st, he's not riding on Caulfield Cup Day. Don't know if he'd have a ride though.
It's always tough with those handicap races for him because he can only get down to like 55 kilos or something like that.
Yeah. So, it'll be interesting.
I wonder who's going to ride Gold Trip in the Caulfield Cup.
That's the thing.
Because Mark Zara is going to be on without a fight. So he would have been the right guy to jump on Gold Trip. Interesting.
Do you wind back the clock with someone like Ollie, He hasn't won a Caulfield Cup in God knows how long.
I wonder who Tommy Berry's going to be on.
It's a good question. Because I think
I'd be eyeballing Tommy. Do you know why? Because he's hungry.
He is hungry. Yeah, hell of a day. Hopefully you found a couple of winners. Hopefully you backed us in on a couple.
Came through unscathed, personally.
Yes.
Came through unscathed.
Yes.
My bulletproof vest on.
Yeah, I'm looking at investment properties.
Mate, we've both had a couple of fill-ups this string so far. So it's what it's all about, Drifters. It's been good. And we'll keep the good times rolling onto next week, that's for sure.
Yeah, and this isn't me saying that you have been poor, by no means.
No.
But early days in the podcast, you were holding this podcast together. You were finding a lot of winners and I was finding a lot of very slow horses. But recently, I've had my eye in. So
got to follow it. When they're seeing like beach balls, because there comes a time where it doesn't happen.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll just
dry spells are never too far away.
Got to ride that wave. All right. We'll see you Wednesday.
See yous.